Welcome back to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Scorpio, Sun, Moon or Rising, and it's the weekly reading for the week of July 29th to August the 4th. Your cards this week are Scorpio, energies leaving, completing or transitioning, or we have the Chariot. Focus energies this week, we have the Page of Pentacles, clarified with Serenity, and we have your card, the card of Scorpio, Death card, coming in towards the end of the week. So, in your recent past here, Scorpio, we have the Chariot card. Now, the Chariot card is actually a card of victory. It's also a card of moving on. It can also indicate actually physical travel. So what really, if you look at the card here with the Chariot, you'll notice that he doesn't have reins to push this really solid stone chariot. Instead, he holds a magician's wand. And it's driven here or drawn by these two sphinxes. Now, those two sphinxes indicate they're sort of like our yin and yang forces within us. And you can see that they're sort of angling into different directions here. So what it really means is that we need to bring ourselves into a place of alignment. And through that, then we can use our intention, which is the magician's wand here, to propel ourselves forward. So we need to be, clear. And, the two forces can be, a sense of indecision, a sense of not being sure what you really want. And it's when you kind of align everything that you can make that decision and move on to what you really want. And I think that's sort of a process that we see happening this week. Now, the Chariot actually came out with the Ten of Pentacles. Now, the Ten of Pentacles is that card of sort of having a really stable home. For some of you, it could be a home situation where you were living generationally with parents and grandparents, your own children, that type of thing. It's a situation that has a lot of stability around it. I'm also just seeing here that for some of you, it could be a job or career that you've sort of followed the line of, say, if you're a doctor, your father or mother was a doctor, that you've followed that tradition and you've followed that through, because Pentacles obviously is the suit of how you make your money as well. Something like that, something there where you've kind of followed the tradition of your family, whether it's in your home situation or your work situation. I feel this week that you are making the decision whether you want to move on from that or not. And there's kind of a sense of enlightenment or awakening that needs to happen in order for you to do that. Now, I actually had another feeling that some of you may actually even be taking a retreat or some time out this week to actually make this decision. Definitely seeing some of you going on a retreat. So if that resonates for you, hopefully it does for somebody. Because this week we have a few things going on here. Now, we have the Hanged Man, the Page of Pentacles, and we have these two clarified with Serenity, which is the Hermit card in the Rider deck. So as I mentioned before, there is the sense of waiting for enlightenment on this situation. You're not quite sure sort of how to move on from it. Not too sure how to bring these sphinxes into alignment and actually propel forward into a new chapter. So there's sort of that sense of, should I stay with what I'm doing now, or should I, move towards a new future? Now, with that Serenity card, which is the Hermit card, I think that a lot of you are retreating within this week to make this decision. As I mentioned, I think some of you are actually going on some kind of retreat. We've decided to take some time out from the situation so you can actually, have that time of introspection and reflection. For some of you, it might just be that you've taken a few days off work or you've gone somewhere on your own. For others of you, this may just be that you're still going about your daily business, but you are making time to really, sit and think about this decision and mull it over properly. Now, with the Serenity card or the Hermit card, there's that feeling of, as you go through this reflective process, within time, that sort of illumination within you starts to grow. And, initially you might only see enough light to illuminate your first steps on the path, and you may not know sort of where that new direction is, where that new home will be, where that new career will be, whatever it is. But sometimes, you just need to take those first, shuffling steps. And when you start to do that, the lantern will shine on, the next steps, and you'll be led and guided to that destination that will eventually show itself to you. Now, the Hanged Man also talks about taking a new viewpoint on a situation. So if this is a situation that's kind of has a sense of tradition about it, following family tradition, it's likely that you've probably taken on and adopted a lot of the preconceived ideas, a lot of that energy that was established from other generations. And maybe it's time for you to actually take your own viewpoint in life and actually move into your own energy. And that may be why you're moving away from the situation. They do talk about dying the death of the Hanged Man, which is going through that kind of traditional grief process. So there's, a time of denial where you might be like, I don't need to move away from the situation. It's worked for all my family for generations. And then there's, I think, is it bartering, anger, depression, and sadness, until we arrive at a place of acceptance. And it's when you arrive at that place of acceptance, which I think you will this week, that's when you can see it for what it is, appreciate everything it's offered you until now, but know that, the time is right for me to take this different viewpoint and to move on in my own direction that's going to serve me on my path. And I think that's the awakening that's on the table for you this week, guys. And that, you get that awakening by going within. I think the answers are already within you. You just need to seek them. The Page of Pentacles shows me that there's new opportunities waiting to come in for you should you decide to go through this process, to let it go, to move on, to let the past stay in the past, to, die that death of the Hanged Man, and to move on in a new direction. And here, Scorpio, I think we see you doing that, because we have the Death card and the Knight of Swords here that's charging in towards the end of the week. So I knew the Death card was going to come out when I started doing your reading. I had a very strong feeling. So this is your card. This is you in your power. It's also you allowing this thing to pass, this situation. Allowing things that no longer serve you to die, to pass over, so that you can be, in a sense, reborn, so you can start a new transition, and so you can transform and evolve yourself. Now, together with that Knight of Swords here, I feel like that once you make this decision, I think things are going to happen really quickly for you. I think it's a decision that you've sat with for a long time, and as soon as you make it, you're going to be on this horse of power, and you're going to start galloping really fast. You're going to start galloping into your new direction to pick up the new pentacle that's waiting for you. Now, when Death card comes in, the reminder is to allow that process to happen. When we don't allow death to come in and complete what is ready to complete, that's when we stagnate, and that's when we get stuck, and that's when we hold ourselves back from that spiritual soul evolution, which is, we are here to evolve and to learn our lessons and to tick off that, that karmic checklist, so that we can achieve our soul's purpose in this lifetime. So we must look death in the eye like a child, allow it to come in and do its work, clear out the old, because there's a brand new sunrise, a brand new dawn that wants to come in and illuminate a new chapter for you, Scorpio. It's basically like this pentacle rising, and that's going to be your new opportunity, your new sun, your new dawn, your new job, your new home is right there ready if you can let the situation complete. So Scorpio, that's what I have for you. I hope this resonated for some of you out there. Keep in mind it is a general reading, it won't resonate for everyone, and I'll see you for another reading next week.